Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Welcome. Welcome to all of you. I hope you're all doing well today. Good morning, Beverly and Anajan, Debbie. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. What a great group we have. Good morning, Tammy and Sheena, Calvin, Zoe, Mallory, Teresa, TJ, Thomasina. Wonderful group of people here today. All right, well, today we're going to be talking about managing relationships. And it's pretty much part 2 of what we talked about yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about outstanding customer service. So I wanted to put these together, one after the other, because we know that during the real estate transaction, it's so important that we provide that outstanding customer service. And we talked about that in great detail yesterday. But what about after the closing? That's what I want to talk about today, is after you close, after that buyer gets their new house, after the seller sells their house, how do you manage those relationships at that point in time? So that is what we are going to be discussing today. And I'm going to be asking for your comments as we go through. So I'll be watching the chat. So this will be very interactive today. And hopefully you'll learn some good takeaways that will help you in your real estate career. As you know, Agent School is designed to help you with your new career. Once you get that license, now what? So we're giving you a lot of different webinars that are going to help you succeed in your new career. Good morning, Martha in Texas. Oh, let's see. Oh, good. Maya with a J. Thank you for telling me how to pronounce that. I try to pronounce your names correctly, so let me know if I ever don't. So Jaya. Yes, good morning, Jaya. Yes, I agree, Anajan, a very important topic. So it's interesting to note that the National Association of Realtors has some statistics on this. And they say that 91% of licensees never contact the buyer or seller after closing. 91%. Isn't that a staggering percentage? Thank you, Peggy. That's very kind of you. I get such joy from teaching all of you. It's such an honor to get to teach all of you. Such fantastic students. Can you only imagine that only 9% of licensees are contacting their past clients after closing? Also, 25% of sellers use an agent that they worked with before. Only 25%. What about those other 75%? Who are they using? 42% of buyers used an agent someone referred to them. Well, if you haven't stayed in contact with your past clients, they're probably going to forget who you are, so you're not going to get any referral business from that. And 33% of sellers recommended their agent 3 times or more since selling their home. So I thought you would find those statistics quite interesting, especially the one that says 91% never contact the buyer or seller after closing. Yeah, Tammy, isn't that incredible? It is high. Anajan, were you surprised at how high that was? Oh, thank you. How do you pronounce her name? Katia? Katia, I think. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Hello, Carol McCormick. Yeah. Peggy says that's a sad stat. It is, isn't it? Calvin's shocked. Yeah. Think about all that business, that repeat business, that referral business that is being lost because agents are not staying in contact with their past clients. That's right, Anajan. So important to stay in contact with your past clients. Absolutely. So I have some homework for you here. I'm going to be watching your chat. The first thing that I want to know from you in chat, let's go. Some of you are newly licensed. Some of you are about to be licensed. So how are you going to stay in contact with your past clients? Put in chat one way that you plan to stay in contact with your past clients. I'm going to watch your chat. How are you going to stay in contact? What's one thing? It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be something so easy. Cynthia Johnson says, call them back, hear their input on their new home. Yes, I just did that last week with a client. Postcards, an email, phone calls, following up a call, an email, Calvin says, Instagram, sending something in the mail, Thomasina says. Call and email, birthday cards, anniversary. Yes, Martha, those are great ideas. Tammy says instant message. Teresa says a handwritten note. Everyone loves a handwritten note. It's like someone took time to remember me. Email, text if it's permitted. Yeah, Carolina's remembering all those rules and laws that go with all of that. Birthday cards. Yeah. Tanya says, using the software available from the broker, email, postcards, letters. Yes, some brokerages do have things available like that. Send a card every holiday. A party for clients. Tammy, you are reading my mind. We're going to be talking about that. Oh, you've got fantastic ideas. I can tell you're going to do very well in real estate. TJ says a gift basket. Yes, gift baskets are always nice. You could have all kinds of different gift baskets. You could have one with all kinds of cleaning products for the house. You could have one that, had things like paper towels, toilet paper, things like that that are useful. I mean, you could have something very creative. Yeah. I love your ideas and I agree with them all. Okay, here's your next question. How often should you stay in contact with your past clients? What do you think about that? How often should they hear from you? How often should your past clients hear from you? What do you think? Debbie says every 6 months. Tammy, 4 times a year. Patricia, quarterly. At least once a year, Calvin says. Randy says every season. That's a good way to remember it. Every 4 months. Okay. 4 times a year, 3 to 6 months, quarterly. Twice a year. Seasonal. Megan says she bought a house almost 10 years ago and still talks to her real estate agent, and they even send cards. Yeah. Carol says twice a year. All right. Isabel, 3 times a year. I like to try to stay in contact with my clients at least once a month. I don't want to be contacting them too often because then they're going to say, well, my goodness, here we've moved into our new house and we can't even unpack because our real estate agent keeps calling us or contacting us. So I like to at least about once a month check in. Maybe that's just a phone call. And then, you could do something more than a phone call on, maybe 3 times a year or something. And we'll be talking about some of those things as we go through this webinar today. Yeah, Tammy says drop an email once a month. Yes, I think so too, Tammy. That's a great idea. Yeah. As long as you're following all of the rules that go with how often you can contact or how you can contact a client after they're no longer your client. Remember, there's all kinds of rules and laws on that, but your broker will have info for you on that. Yeah. Okay, here's another one. Boy, this is an easy question. What happens if you do not stay in contact with your past clients? What do you think? What happens if you do not stay in contact with your past clients? Let's see. What are you going to say on that one? What happens if you do not stay in contact with your past clients? Mark says you could lose referrals. Absolutely. Yeah, they're going to get a new realtor, right? They forget who you are, Calvin. That is 100% the truth. Yeah, they're going to use another agent for next time, Tanya says. Yeah. Yeah. It is so easy to stay in contact with your past clients. You know, we talked about time blocking. You could have a time on your calendar, maybe once a month where, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going to be contacting all my past clients. Yeah. So I think we're all in agreement, not a good idea to not stay in contact with your past clients because they're going to forget who you are. You're not going to get any referral business from that. They are going to find another agent. Randy says, what's the difference between a realtor and a sales agent? That's a wonderful question, Randy. So you are going to be licensed as a sales agent or broker. Some states, they call it broker and managing broker. Other states, sales agent and broker, which is the most common. In order to call yourself a realtor, you have to be a member of the National Association of Realtors. You'll also join your state association and your local association as well. That allows you to call yourself a realtor. If your broker is a member of all of those, you will have to be as well, the person you have your license under. A lot of wonderful things. It's the most recognized title in real estate. And they also have all kinds of learning tools, all kinds of things that are quite helpful. So you get a lot for your money. You do have to pay dues. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Beverly says time blocking is important. Yes, absolutely. It is very important, Beverly. Yeah. All right. So another question for you. If you have bought a house before, or maybe you sold a house, what does your realtor do to stay in contact with you? What are some things that your realtor has done to stay in contact with you? I'm going to watch your chat. I've loved all of your responses. You're doing so well with this. Some of you are saying nothing. Happy birthday cards. Some TJ's sends text messages. Yes, Tanya's talking about the registered trademark. Yes, if you can't find the trademark, put it in all caps. Yeah, so a lot of you are saying not much. Postcards, nothing. No contact at all. Cards, email. Oh, Tammy's invited them to a Christmas party. Oh, I like this. Margarita sends a recipe every month. Debbie was a realtor in Colorado. Yeah. Following each other on Instagram, Sheena says. Real estate updates, that's always helpful. Peggy says she got a huge holiday wreath the first year after that postcards, but it ended after 10 years. So I guess they thought you weren't moving. I don't know, but about that time, people are oftentimes ready to find a different house. So we don't want to stop communicating. Cards, emails, text messages. Cards on tax season. That's helpful. Yeah, something that's helpful. People always love that. Emails. Car Group Preach says she calls us occasionally. She invited us over. We invited her to one of our events. That's nice. Teresa was an assistant and would make written notes. That's nice. People always appreciate that. Yeah. Market updates. Yes, people always appreciate that. All right, so some of you heard from your realtor after closing, and there were many of you who said you never heard from them again. Again, let's go back to that percentage we talked about. National Association of Realtors says 91% never contact the buyer or seller after closing. One thing that you want to make certain that you have is a CRM program, because you've got to keep track of all these clients that you've worked with. If you are a super busy agent, it's difficult to remember who they all are, to make sure that you're remembering all of them. So you have to have a very organized approach for this as well. As I tell you, when you're studying for the test, it takes an organized, systematic approach. It does as well to stay in contact with past clients. Your brokerage that you are with, or if you are interviewing brokerages, ask them about their CRM program, their customer relationship management program. This is where you can input all of your database, your sphere of influence. This will help you keep track of how often you are keeping in contact with those past clients. Now, one thing you want to double check, ask the brokerages the question, so I'm putting my sphere of influence, I'm putting my database into your CRM program. What if I leave this brokerage? What happens to my database? So sometimes the brokers can keep that. You want to ask that question, and you may want to, in addition to the broker CRM program, you may want to have one of your own too. It might be quite helpful for you to have one of your own as well. Yes, Amanda, I think you were reading my mind as I was talking there. Yes, I do think it's a good idea to have your own, because again, not everybody stays at that same brokerage, and you would not want to have to go input that information again. Yeah. There's all kinds of CRM programs out there, Rachel. There are a lot of them. Your broker will have probably a well-known one, and then you can probably Google that and find some that would be very helpful for you to have. It doesn't even have to be anything fancy. You could have some kind of database in your computer if you wanted. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything super sophisticated. You just have to have a system in place. Yeah. All right. So one way to stay in contact with past clients would be gifts. Some of you mentioned you had received gifts from your clients. So let's talk about some ideas, and I want to hear your ideas as well. I've put a few on here, and then I want to hear what your ideas are as well. So one, you could pay to have the house professionally cleaned. What buyer doesn't love to move into a new home that is just shiny clean, and it smells good and it looks good, and they don't have to worry about coming in and cleaning that house? It's ready for them to move into. So I think paying to have the house professionally cleaned is a wonderful gift. You could even pay to have it cleaned for them after they get everything unpacked, because you know, when you're unpacking boxes, things like that, kind of things get dusty. You know, people are tracking mud in or dirt in as they're walking in and out of the house, bringing the boxes in. So maybe after they get unpacked, maybe you want to have that house professionally cleaned for them. I'm reading your chat. Birthday and holidays, reminder on your phone calendar, dinner gift certificate. Katia says a massage session. They're probably stressed out from the move, right, Katia? Yeah. Donation to the homeowner's favorite organization. Yes, that's always a lovely thing to do, Randy. Absolutely. Yeah. Another thing you could, and this, of course, keep in mind, we have a pandemic going on, so you have to, exercise all the safety rules, all the caution, so nobody gets sick. So this may be something you want to do after the pandemic. Host a housewarming party and let your clients provide you with the guest list. Now, pre-COVID, this is something that I love to do. So we have a housewarming party. Mr. Ms. Buyer, give me the names of 25 people to invite to this housewarming party. So I'm there at the housewarming party. So not only do my buyers love the fact that they're getting to show their new house off to all of their relatives, their friends, and I'm actually paying for that. I'm providing the food, I'm providing everything. But also think about the referral business I can get from this. I can have my business card there. I am talking with all those people, and they're thinking, what a fantastic realtor you have. This is so nice that they're hosting this on your behalf. I think I would like to use this agent myself. always think it's nice to have an artist do a rendering of the new home and to frame it. You could put the year that they bought it. That way they always have that memory of that home. Oh, Demi says a cutting board with their last name on it. Yes, I love cutting boards. In fact, one of my favorite gifts, my oldest son made me a cutting board, and I lost my mom many years ago, and she loved to cook. So he had one of her recipes etched into the cutting board for me. And so you could definitely do something like that, put the Realtor's name on the cutting board. So every time they're in there cooking, they think about their licensee. So yes, that's a great idea. Yeah. Yes, I think the housewarming party is a lot of fun. Yeah. All right. Host a cooking class in the new home, or you can invite your past clients to a cooking class at another location. There are all kinds of cooking classes out there. People love to go to cooking classes. You could have a chef come into their home. You could also, if you held it somewhere other than somebody's home, you could invite all your past clients for that year. You could say, okay, I have 25 clients that I've worked with this past year, so I'm hosting a cooking class for all of you at some venue. And they could all come to that. You could have everybody at one time. Yeah. Yes, I'm reading your chat. Yeah. You've got such great ideas. Yeah. All right. Host a quarterly dinner club for all your past clients to be a member. I don't know if any of you have ever been part of a dinner club or a supper club, some people call them, but you could have it specific for your real estate clients. And once a quarter, invite everybody. You could have it at a restaurant. You could do all kinds of different things. If you're a good cook, I am not. You could have them come to your home. All kinds of different ideas that you could do with that. You could have dinner delivered the night they move into their new home. The day somebody moves into a new home, or we could say a seller moving out of a home, they're exhausted. They've been packing, they're tired. Moving is a chore. It's hard work. So maybe you want to have dinner delivered to them the night they move into their new home. It could just be pizza, something like that. Tammy says I'm a terrible cook. I used to be a really good cook, Tammy, but I just kind of got out of the habit after we became empty nesters, and I've been trying to regain my cooking skills during the pandemic, but I'm feeling kind of sad for my husband. He says it tastes okay, but I think he's just being nice. Yeah. Oh, Carrie, this is a great idea. You have picture of your clients in front of their new home for memories. I love that. Calvin says, we got lunch from Panera, including desserts for 12 people. We moved in and had it for 2 days. That's very nice. I bet you really appreciated that as well. Diane, it is hard to prepare dinner for 2 people. I agree. Yeah, we're ready for the pandemic to get under control. It's totally out of control in Dallas, Texas. So you really have to stay home pretty much all the time. But before the pandemic, fine dining was our favorite hobby. So we love to go out to eat. So we really are missing that. And then so many of our favorite restaurants are out of business. So we're really sad about that. Cynthia says her ex-realtor always brings wine for Christmas. Yeah, Calvin said he really liked them sending the Panera. That really helped, didn't it, Calvin? Because here you are moving and you don't have to worry about, going and picking up food or cooking or anything like that. Yeah. Another idea, and I would check with my clients first to see, first of all, do they have any tags put on their pets as far as, on their little collars and all, but they may not want the address on there, but you could check with them, and if they're okay with that, you could have tags made for the pets that have the new address. Or I love this one. Ask them what their favorite tree is. Plant a tree in their yard the day they close on the property. And as that tree is growing, you can always know that they are looking out at that tree and remembering you, their licensee. Martha says, is hosting a hiking outing a good idea? If your clients like to hike, I always think it's a good idea to know your clients well enough to know what their hobbies are, what is it that they really like to do. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Josie says her friend who's a broker does a Christmas party for her clients. Excuse me. So these are just a few ideas here, and you've also had some wonderful ideas as well. Carrie says a gift card to Bed Bath & Beyond. That's a great one because people usually want to buy new towels, new sheets, a lot of new kind of things for their houses when they move in. Yeah, great ideas you have. Other ways we can stay in contact would be through social media. That doesn't cost anything. That's a very easy way to stay in contact with your clients. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, social media reviews. Those are so very important, the reviews that people put out there about you. But I will also remind you, our real estate transactions are confidential. It is not my story to share on my social media. When I close on a real estate deal with my clients, it is their story to share first, and only my story to share if I have written permission from them. We have all kinds of confidentiality rules involved in real estate. I see a lot of agents say, oh, congratulations, and they name the people by name. They closed on their new house today. Well, I hope they gave them permission to put that out there, because that's basically a breach of confidentiality. They may not want anybody to know that. But most of my clients I'll become friends with on Facebook. So, there's nothing wrong with saying a hello, how are you today? Or, maybe you want to send them a recipe or, whatever it might be. So that is always a great way to stay in contact with past clients, through social media. Oh, I hope I'm pronouncing your name. Mine, if I'm not, let me know. After COVID is over, people can host an annual client appreciation party and let them invite friends, so you can also get new potential clients as well. I love that idea. I think once the pandemic is under control, people are going to love going to parties, aren't they? Yes. Josie, just check with your broker as far as the confidentiality rules of posting things like that on social media, as far as somebody buying a new property or selling a property. Again, that's their story to tell unless they've given you permission. Yeah, Cynthia, you always want to respect that that's their home, and that they may not want anybody to know they moved. So we definitely need written permission if we're going to mark, say that, oh, we just closed on this property, so happy for my clients. We have to have written permission if we're going to be giving their names and all that kind of thing. So be very careful about that. Yeah. Oh, Carol Ann says a plaque with their new home address. That's a nice gift. That would be most appreciated. Social media reviews, again, we want to do the best job that we can possibly do, because social media reviews are huge. So if somebody doesn't like you, then, somebody might read that. You might lose some business from that. So you want to do your very best so you can get great social media reviews. Other ways to stay in contact. A telephone. Pick up that phone and call somebody. There are some people that do not like to talk on the telephone, so you kind of have to know who that is. Some of that can be a little bit generational as well. Maybe you want to send a text message. I sent a text message to a client the other day. She moved into her house a couple of months ago. I said, hey, just wanted to say hello, and how are you liking that new house? And she's like, I love it. Thank you so much for finding this house for me. And I'm like, I'm so glad you love it. That makes me so happy that you are so happy in your new home. That took me 2 minutes probably at the most, to send that little text message. An email, that's always a great way. Again, we want to make sure we're following the rules as to how long we can still contact people after they're no longer our clients. Your broker will have information on that for you. And then many of you have mentioned a handwritten note. A handwritten note, that's always nice. It says somebody took the time to sit down and write a handwritten note. I think one of you even mentioned you had been an assistant, and that's what you did on a regular basis, was to write a handwritten note. Oh, Tammy, that's a great idea. Contact them and just ask them if they are doing okay during the pandemic. Yes, just to let them know, hey, I care. Other ways to stay in contact with past clients. Remember your clients on special occasions. Maybe you want to remember their birthday. Send them a birthday card or call them, send them an email, text message, whatever it might be. Maybe it's the anniversary of living in their home. Oh, today is the 1-year anniversary of living in your home. And I was just remembering that and how much you love your new home. So I just wanted to say happy first anniversary in your home. Maybe they had a new baby. So maybe you want to send a congratulations on that. Graduation. Maybe they've had a family member who graduated. So you want to congratulate them on that. Maybe they got married. Maybe you want to go to some of these events. My clients many times have invited me to their weddings. I've gone to a lot of weddings. I've gone to dance recitals. I've gone to graduations all the way from kindergarten up to college, because you kind of become part of your client's family if you stayed in contact with them and you have that great rapport. So whenever they invite me to one of their events, I feel so honored, and I try to always attend those. Of course, again, with COVID, we're kind of in unprecedented times right now, kind of different times. That's really not something that we can really do. But if we get back to normal times or a new kind of normal, then hopefully we can go back to those kind of things. Yeah, Cynthia says, a handwritten note and eye-to-eye contact tells a lot. Yes, absolutely. This next one, become a notary. In a real estate transaction, you cannot notarize your client's anything to do with their transaction. That's a conflict of interest. However, after it closes, think how often somebody needs a notary. My husband needed one yesterday to have a document notarized, and we had to end up doing a virtual online notary because we couldn't find one. But think if you were a notary and you had a client and they needed something notarized at the last moment, they had been a past client of yours and they realized that you were a notary, think how helpful that would be, that you could notarize that for them. Yeah, Josie, if it's where the transaction is going on at that time, you cannot notarize anything. If you're the licensee involved in that transaction, that's a conflict of interest. However, after it closes, it will be okay. Tammy says her agent was a notary, and that was over 10 years ago. Tammy, did that help? Were you able to get them to notarize for you after that transaction? Yeah. So you could only notarize. Make sure you're real clear on that after the transaction has concluded, not during the transaction. Yeah, it seems like at the least opportune time, it's like, I need this notarized. It's usually like late at night or something. Oh my gosh, I forgot to get that notarized. Yeah, Tanya says she's a notary. Yeah. All right, so I think this would be extremely helpful. Something else you can do, let's see, what's Tammy saying? Yes, she did things for me, but she never sold me a house. They did for sale by owner. Yeah. All right, ways to stay in contact with past clients, the holidays. So you might remember your clients on holidays. This is just a few holidays I put on here. There are many others. New Year's Day, It's 2021. Welcome to the new year. I hope your year is fantastic. Valentine's Day. Maybe you could send a Valentine card or some candy, something like that. Easter, July 4th, Thanksgiving. A lot of agents have, they like to have a pie giving on Thanksgiving. So I see on Facebook many agents will say, for all my past clients, please come by and pick up your pie. We have your pie here for you. Christmas. Now remember, not everybody celebrates all holidays. So be very respectful to your clients and their beliefs. So you want to make sure that you are always being very respectful, because not everybody celebrates all the same holidays, because we're all unique, different people, as we should be. So we want to be very respectful to our clients and what their belief system is. Yes, Tammy, many times I see flags on July 4th. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, mine. Not everybody celebrates all holidays, so we have to kind of understand our clients so that we make sure we're extremely respectful about that. That's right. Be respectful. Absolutely. Yeah. Be very, very respectful. Okay. One way that I have really stayed in contact with clients, as I told you, my husband and I love fine dining before the pandemic. So I oftentimes on Facebook will put a review of a restaurant. We have wonderful, wonderful restaurants in Dallas, Texas, that's for sure. So many times, if we've gone out to eat, I'll take pictures of the food, I'll write something up, I'll post it. And my clients, my friends, everybody knows Cindy loves to go out to eat. I cannot tell you how many times I have had people contact me and say, oh, we're having date night, or we want to go try a new restaurant. We know that you love to go out to eat. What would you recommend? Sometimes we can get a client from another avenue besides real estate. So rather than saying, hey, you want to buy or sell your house, we could build those relationships from something like me telling about a restaurant on Facebook. Now they've started a conversation with me, and now maybe it will lead to them wanting to buy or sell their home even. Linda says a community garage sale. I really like that. Yeah. Maybe, they've moved to the new area. Your clients, they don't know about doctors or dentists. So, maybe you have some recommendations on that. Grocery stores, they're always asking me, buyers that are moving to the area, tell me where the grocery stores are. Tell me about the grocery stores. Maybe they have a pet. From my other webinars how much I love dogs. So, that had to make my list here. Maybe they want the names of some veterinarians, some dog groomers, things of that sort. So that would be a wonderful way to stay in contact with your past clients as well. You could create a monthly or quarterly newsletter. In that, you could even put a restaurant recommendation. Maybe there's a new grocery store opening. Maybe you want to include what the real estate market is doing. It's definitely been a seller's market for most of the United States. At some point in time, that will turn and be a buyer's market. We know the real estate market just goes around and around. It's a cycle. Maybe you want to include some information to educate on that. So you could put all kinds of things in your monthly or quarterly newsletter. Also, I want you to remember that staying in contact with your past clients can also get you more referral business. As those statistics I told at the very beginning, 33% of sellers recommended their agents 3 times or more since selling their home. 42% of buyers used an agent someone referred to them, and those were statistics from the National Association of Realtors. So by staying in contact with your clients, not only do you get repeat business, but you also get referral business as well. They're going to tell everybody about you and what a great job that you did and how you have stayed in contact with them. Whenever it comes to real estate and someone is thinking about who is the best realtor in this area, you want it to be your name that comes to their mind, always your name. By doing a wonderful job in the real estate transaction, also by staying in contact with your clients after the transaction, and we've talked about all kinds of great ways that you can do that and the importance of doing that. It will be your name that they think of when it comes to real estate. I'm going to watch your chat here. What questions do you have? I want to see if you have any questions for me. So I'm watching your chat. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, yesterday we talked about the importance of outstanding customer service. This just carries it on to another level after that transaction, staying in contact with that client so you can get more business from them, and also they will refer you to other people. So you would, yeah, good. I'm glad that you've been learning all of this, Zora. Yeah. Yeah, it's not anything difficult. I think it's just making sure that you've taken the time to do these things. Tammy says, do you communicate more with your clients on your personal or your business page on Facebook? Both. They usually become my personal friends as well. We've built great rapport. So I usually have them on both of those pages. Yeah, Beverly says, by being part of the community joining functions. Yes, that's a great idea. Yeah, Shariah says, newsletter with info about upcoming events, activities in the area. Oh, I love adding that to the newsletter. Is it maybe Shariah? Shariah or Shariah? I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Let me know. Yeah. Calvin says, and becoming a great salesperson. Yes, yes. One full of ethics and integrity, the most important part. Yeah. Well, I hope you have all learned some very valuable information. Calvin says, understand it's more than selling the house. That's right. That's exactly right, Calvin. That is a wonderful, wonderful comment. Yeah. Well, thank you, Peggy. I'm glad you enjoyed this session. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and hopefully you got some great information here today that will help you in your real estate career. Bye, everyone.